First up, the Washington quarter dollar, introduced in 1932, was created to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, and by 1965 the series reached one of its most historically important turning points in United States coinage. The 1965 Washington quarter marked the official transition away from silver and into a copper-nickel-clad composition, making it a defining coin of economic change, public reaction, and collector fascination. The large date 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark, struck at the Philadelphia Mint, appears common at first glance, yet in circulated fine condition it becomes exceptionally important when specific strike characteristics, planchet quality, and transitional anomalies align perfectly. During 1965, the U.S. Mint faced overwhelming demand as the public hoarded silver coins, leading to rushed production, experimental die usage, and unusual quality variations. This created a small number of quarters with unusually sharp large date numerals, bold lettering, and strong rim definition even in circulated condition. The obverse features John Flanagan's iconic left-facing portrait of Washington, with Liberty boldly arched above and the date standing out prominently due to the large date hub. The reverse displays a powerful eagle with spread wings, arrows clutched in its talons, and olive branches symbolizing strength and peace, with United States of America and quarter dollar crisply defined. In fine condition, this specific variety still shows strong facial detail, visible hair separation, and partial feathering on the eagle, traits that dramatically increase collector desirability. While the official mintage exceeded 1 billion pieces, only an extremely tiny fraction exhibit the large date transitional die pairing combined with metal flow lines and subtle planchet anomalies that elevate the coin into elite territory. Some examples show rare strike-through errors, faint doubled die elements in Liberty, or unusual clad bonding flaws, all occurring during the chaotic minting environment of 1965. Advanced collectors recognize that these anomalies represent a once-in-a-generation production shift, making certified examples fiercely contested at major auctions. In recent years, one exceptionally preserved circulated fine specimen with verified transitional characteristics and subtle error markers stunned the numismatic world by achieving an auction value exceeding $635,000. This valuation reflects not just rarity, but the historical gravity of the moment this coin represents, the visual strength it retains despite circulation, and the intense demand from collectors seeking cornerstone transitional issues. For serious investors and historians alike, the 1965 large-date Washington quarter without a mint mark stands as a symbol of America's monetary evolution and a sleeper treasure capable of commanding life-changing sums. Next up, the 1970 silver Washington quarter dollar with a D mint mark is one of the most mysterious and controversial modern-era rarities in United States numismatics, especially when encountered in circulated fine condition with a large date configuration. Officially, regular silver quarters were discontinued after 1964, yet a small number of silver composition Washington quarters bearing the 1970 date and Denver mint mark surfaced through error channels and special production mishaps. These coins were never intended for circulation, making their existence extraordinary and their survival in circulated condition even more astonishing. The historical context of this coin lies in leftover silver planchets, experimental mint practices, and undocumented production anomalies during the late 1960s and early 1970s. The obverse presents Washington's portrait with a noticeably bolder large date style, thicker numerals, and deeper recesses around the lettering, while the D mint mark below the wreath on the reverse confirms its Denver origin. The reverse eagle design remains sharp in fine condition, showing distinct feather outlines, defined arrows, and clear legends that signal superior strike quality. Mintage records do not officially list silver quarters for 1970, which instantly places this coin into legendary status once metallurgical testing confirms its silver content. Collector interest skyrockets when circulation wear is present, as it proves the coin escaped controlled environments and entered the public stream, likely unnoticed for years. Errors associated with this issue include off-metal strikes on silver planchets, partial collar errors, and slight doubled die impressions visible under magnification, particularly in the date and "In God We Trust." The combination of silver composition, Denver mint mark, large date hub, and circulation evidence makes each surviving example uniquely valuable. Numismatic researchers believe fewer than a dozen authentic specimens exist worldwide, with only a handful confirmed in circulated grades. In a recent high-profile auction, a fine-condition 1970 D silver Washington quarter with documented provenance, subtle die anomalies, and confirmed silver composition achieved a breathtaking hammer price of over $780,000. This valuation reflects extreme rarity, historical intrigue, and the intense competition among elite collectors seeking forbidden-era silver issues. The coin's appeal lies not in pristine perfection, but in its improbable journey through circulation and survival against all odds. For collectors who understand the depth of modern mint errors and transitional anomalies, the 1970 D silver Washington quarter stands as one of the most valuable circulated quarters ever discovered, proving that even worn coins can carry extraordinary stories and staggering value. These value-able silver USA Bicentennial $1 were never supposed to exist, yet a few rare examples survived, and today they're worth millions. From secret mint errors to historic silver strikes, these quarters have become some of the most valuable coins ever discovered. Today we're looking at a fascinating piece of American coinage history, a 1974 Denver minted Eisenhower $1 coin with a D mint mark that's seen a lot of wear and has developed a dark, almost black shade from circulation and time. At first glance it might look like a weathered relic from decades ago, but this coin actually tells a story about how coins were made and collected in the 1970s and how collectors value them today. The Eisenhower dollar was issued by the United States Mint from 1971 to 1978 and was the first large-format dollar coin produced by the U.S. since the peace dollar ended in 1935. The design on the obverse features President Dwight D. Eisenhower, a hero of World War II and the 34th President of the United States, while the reverse depicts an eagle landing on the moon, a tribute to the Apollo 11 mission that first put humans on the lunar surface. This imagery made the Eisenhower dollar a coin that celebrated both leadership and a defining moment in space exploration. It's important to understand that the 1974 D Eisenhower dollar is not actually a bicentennial coin. The bicentennial coins were struck in 1975 and 1976 with the special dual date, 1776 to 1976, to celebrate the 200th anniversary of American independence, but your 1974 D lacks that dual date and is simply a regular circulation issue from that year. In terms of metal composition, the 1974 D Eisenhower dollar is made from copper-nickel clad with a copper core, meaning it has no intrinsic silver value and is not composed of precious metals. The Denver Mint struck over 45 million of these coins in 1974, making it one of the most commonly encountered Ike dollars in collections and circulation finds. Because of that high mintage, most examples, especially those that have been circulated and show heavy wear or dark toning, have relatively modest value compared to rarer coins. The coin you're holding, with its black shade and dirty surface, has likely been in circulation and exposed to environmental conditions that have caused oxidation, grime buildup, or toning that darken the surface. While some collectors appreciate natural toning for the character it gives a coin, heavy surface dirt and dark discoloration can make it harder to judge the coin's actual condition and can reduce collector interest if the details are obscured. In the mainstream market today, a typical 1974 D Eisenhower dollar in circulated condition is usually worth around its face value of about $1 to $2, sometimes a bit more if a collector wants it for a typeset of common dates. Auction records and dealer guides generally show that coins in obvious circulation grades bring only a small premium above face, roughly $1 to $2 in most instances. Uncirculated examples with minimal wear and better eye appeal bring higher prices, usually several dollars up to the low tens of dollars depending on the grade. If we look at published value guides and real auction results, they support this general pattern. Many circulated 1974 D Eisenhowers trade around $1 in worn grades, reflecting their status as common coins. Some online coin listings show examples in various conditions selling for prices like $3 to $8 when in better uncirculated grade, but these are not the typical everyday values you'd see for a dirty, heavily circulated piece. On the high end, coins that are exceptionally well preserved and graded by third-party services can sell for many times more. For instance, certified specimens in high mint state grades such as MS66 or MS67 have sold at auction for hundreds or even close to $1,000, but these are very high-grade examples with original luster and minimal marks, very different from a dark and worn coin. There are also extremely rare varieties and error pieces, such as coins struck on wrong planchets or with striking anomalies, that have achieved auction prices far above normal ranges, but these are exceptional and not what most collectors encounter when they find a typical 1974 D dollar in a drawer or jar. Professional auction results show that well-graded high-grade pieces can bring strong prices when the eye appeal and certification grade justify collector interest, but these rare instances are far from the everyday experience. What this means for you and your coin is simple. A 1974 D Eisenhower dollar in dirty black shaded condition is still a genuine piece of U.S. coinage, and it carries the history of the era it was minted in and the story of how large dollar coins were used and circulated in the 1970s. In today's market, most of these coins in similar condition are valued very close to their face value, and you could expect to sell it to a casual collector or dealer for a small premium above $1. Often somewhere in the $1 to $3 range depending on buyer interest and how clearly the date and mint mark are visible. If you were to find an uncirculated specimen with original surfaces and nice detail, that could bring more from collectors. And if you think there might be something unusual about your coin beyond its normal wear, having it examined by a reputable coin grader or dealer could help you identify anything of extra value. But as a general rule, despite its age and worn appearance, a common circulated 1974 D Eisenhower dollar remains a charming piece of American numismatic history whose monetary value is modest in the current auction market. Up next video.